you like to see me fall off? Would that be a story? Would you promise to cut it if that happened?
Welcome back. That's President Trump having a little fun during his meeting with top names from Harley-Davidson. He welcomed the iconic motorcycle maker to the White House last week to talk about creating jobs in America. Joining us right now is the CEO of Harley-Davidson, Matt Levatich. And Matt, it's good to see you.
Nice
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We want to talk about business. We want to talk about your new bike, which we'll get to in a second. But first, tell us about that meeting with the president. How did that go?
It was a great meeting, mostly because of the way the president and the administration really engaged with us on issues of importance to great American manufacturers like Harley. So they really listened. They want to hear what we had to say. Because as you can imagine, there are a lot of complicated things to figure out, whether it's tax reform or trade issues, but we think Harley has been heavily invested in American manufacturing since day one, and we're a great representation of American manufacturing, and they really wanted to hear what we had to say.
Right, you produce bikes here in America.
Yeah.
So we've been having this discussion all morning about this border adjustment tax.
Right.
Is that going to impact your business?
Well, I mean, this is what needs to be figured out, right? Obviously, from a corporate tax perspective, we pay an effective rate of around 35%, so that will help us, and any savings can be reinvested in our business or to shareholders, so that's a good thing, but that has to be balanced somehow, and border-adjusted tax is one of the things being discussed, and how that actually unfolds is very important to a lot of companies, as you're finding out. So.
Let me ask you about business in general. By the way, when I heard that you were joining us, which I was thrilled, I said, well, I better break out the Harley-Davidson jacket.
That's awesome.
So I wore my
Nice.
jacket. When else am I going to wear a jacket if not to talk with the CEO of Harley? So I'm loving this.
When you're riding.
That's true. When you reported earnings last week, fourth quarter, under expectations, and you gave a forecast talking about weaker than expected demand going forward. Tell us what's behind that.
So, you know, in the U.S., which is 2/3 of our business, we're still seeing continued weakness in predominantly the oil areas of the nation, and as well from a couple of years of currency strength in the United States, you know, depressed used bike values, and so that's all impacting our new bike sales in the United States. We had we didn't meet our own expectations, but we did some really great work on driving demand. We picked up a full share point on the year, 2 points in the quarter. So we're very pleased with the work that we're doing to drive demand, and we talked to the analysts about our strategy over the next 10 years to build the next generation of Harley-Davidson riders and all the foundational elements that are in place and how we're going to leverage those, not just in the U.S., but globally, to build the next generation of Harley-Davidson riders.
Well, there's the demand part of the story, then there's the shipment, then there's the supply story. So what about the shipments of bikes?
So in order to maintain the premium nature of the brand and the value of the product, we've held back on shipments to make sure that supply is in line with demand. The other side of that equation is what are we doing to drive demand? And that's where we're really most excited about the next 10 years. Training new riders through our Riding Academy program. We trained 65,000 people in the United States, you know, to learn how to ride last year. So these investments, speaking to different types of riders, young adults, women, African Americans, Hispanics, we've grown 6 percentage points of our mix of sales to those outreach segments. So there's a lot of really great foundational work behind that, and that's what I think the investors really heard in the discussion last week.
You also announced plans to unveil 50 new models in 5 years.
Correct.
That's a hefty goal.
Yep.
Walk that through for us.
So 50 is the sort of headline-grabbing number. What is even more important is what we said around it, which is high-impact new motorcycles. So 50 is just a number. What matters is what they say to people, our existing riders, and what they say to new riders, people interested in the sport or interested in moving over from the competition. So the energy behind our product plan is really about how we invest to make a difference in the marketplace with the products we bring to market. So it's 50 great high-impact motorcycles, and we couldn't be more thrilled about that going forward.
What are the price points that you're looking for in terms of those 50 new motorcycles?
We run the span right now from around $7,500 up to the high 30s in our model range. And when we look to do product investments, we're covering that whole portfolio in a disciplined way to reach different customer segments, existing core riders, those outreach riders, international riders. So it's a whole mix of things in what we call the portfolio of products that are going to drive that growth.
One of your new bikes is here, right? This is a 2017, right?
Yep, 2017.
What's special about this bike?
Well, this motorcycle has the new Milwaukee 8 engine, which has 8 valves, more power, more torque, and it also has a totally upgraded suspension, so the ride is completely enhanced. I have one, and I haven't felt this great about a Harley since my very first Harley over 20 years ago.
Wow.
It has that much of a difference for the rider. And we've actually seen an increase in our demo rides at our dealerships by almost 100% since we launched this in September. So people are trying it, and they're wanting to get a piece of it.
I noticed you have, can I sit on this?
Absolutely.
I noticed you have this screen here. What is this screen?
So the screen is a full, typical GPS that you'd have in any kind of premium auto product. Obviously, iPhone integration and so forth for music.
So I can be like, the app is right. Apps are right there.
Yep.
Everything's right there. That's
and
like
it's
my iPhone.
You can all work it with your thumbs, and if you have a headset set up, you can do it with voice, so you can keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the bars, which is very important. So,
Matt, great. Congrats. Good to see you.
Thanks very much, Maria. I appreciate it.
Matt Levatich will be right back.